Welcome to Podpie Spell Debate, the only show on the internet where we get 4 Project Winter players to duke against 4 other Project Winter players. Tonight we have a very special debate. We will be discussing about the viability of neutral roles into the game. There are already multiple neutral roles in the game, and some of these gentlemen here will argue that we need more, and some of them will argue that we don't need more, let alone we need to, maybe they will say that we remove some. Who knows tonight? So this is the 4th episode of our show. I thank you, every single one of you. Already 12 viewers, which just started a few minutes ago. That's incredible. Thank you guys for tuning in every time. 4th episode today. We have a few veterans already. We have Khrai, that's coming, Preston, Shadow, Zeke, Peezerplays, who has been there a few times already, and we have new faces tonight. We have FTL, we have AliciaWalters, and we have Rustery. So, guys, welcome to the new participant today. Without any delay, I will want you guys to. I'll give you 1 minute each, 1 minute 30. I'm gonna time it because there's 8 of us, so it could take a lot of time. Peezer, thank you so much for the host. I will have you tell us who you are, what's your experience with the game, what you think of the game, and also if you are a content creator, where people can find you, because I want you to gain a bit of view up with this. So without further ado, Mr. Khrai, I'll give you the microphone. You have 1 minute interrupted to tell us who you are, and also tell us what you think and why you think we need more or less roles in the game. We're going to combine that, squash that into a little. There you go. Go ahead, Khrai.
Thank you, Asparagus. Hi, my name's Khrai. I have a little bit more than a year of experience in Project Winter. The only social media I have would be on Twitch. I do not stream anymore, but I should get back to it soon if I have a little bit more pressure from my peers to actually start again. But that's all about me, I would say. About the question about the neutral role, I would say that there's 2 ways I see it. The first one would be in terms of quantity, and the other one would be in variety of roles. And I would be for both of them to add more. I even have some role suggestion that could be added to the game, but I'll leave that for later on. And that's it.
Thank you, Khrai. Prestonman, your turn.
My name is Preston, and I have 2.5 years of time on Project Winter, and my stance is that neutral roles help create more diversity in the games, and so maybe adding another role or 2 into the game would be beneficial for the game. My YouTube channel is Prestonman, and that's about it.
Thank you, Preston. We have now veteran of the show, Chaotic Shadow 6. Floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Chaotic Shadow 6. You can find me on Twitch and probably nowhere else. I've been playing the game for roughly 2 years now. Yeah, my stance is neutrals are good. They bring a lot of chaos, a lot of insanity, and that's exactly what I want from the game.
Chaos and insanity. Awesome. Zeke, go ahead.
I'm Zeke. I've had the game since it came out on Game Pass. I played a little bit on Game Pass, and I played a bunch on Steam. You could find me on Twitch. I stream inconsistently, but mainly Project Winter. I genuinely think more chaos is what neutral roles bring to the game, and that's what the game needs. I think the game really isn't so much balanced for a 6v2 situation, and I also think more roles are also good. Those are my main 3 points.
Thank you very much. We'll now give the microphone to a newcomer, FTL. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm FTL. I've been playing Project Winter for a little over a year now, about 13 months, I'd say, at this point. I'm against adding both. I'm highly against adding more neutrals in a game. Hey, stop thumbing me down. See you. And I am more neutral in adding new ones, but still leaning towards against. I believe the current ID Thief is a really good neutral role, and that a new one isn't needed. I would be open to hear of new ideas, but I definitely think there should be never more than one neutral role in any game. Just due to the fact I feel like the neutrals add a lot of chaos, which is a good element, but too much chaos can be bad for a game.
Awesome. Peezer.
Peezerplays is my Twitch name. That's basically the only place you can find me, or in person if you try hard enough. I've been partnered with Project Winter for just short of a year now. I've had the game for just over 2 years, I believe, and I've played more games than I can fathom. So I don't really think that there needs to be more neutral rework, definitely, but absolutely no. That would be where I stand on that.
Excellent. AliciaWalters85. You're muted.
Oh, they're lighting up.
Yeah.
I see
so
Alicia's muted. Let me check the volume.
Did you mute them? Because they're not muted for me.
They're not,
Not anymore. Okay, well, let's go with
There.
Rustery. And we check back with Alicia after that.
Hello everyone, I'm Rustery. I've been with the game since day one, and you can find me on my Twitch, RusteryX, and my YouTube, just Rustery. My stance on the game is mostly Identity Thief is a really good role. There's counterplay for both sides because it's a chaos role on purpose, and anyone can just claim it and take advantage from it. It's just how imaginative you are with it. But the issue is adding more roles will create confusion for new players. It will muddle the game with more intricacies, and also I don't believe there's another, because ID Thief has been done in other games before. Adding more roles would just make it muddy and get too technical.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Alicia, can we try again? Can you hear us? We could hear you before the debate started. Are you there?
I got nothing.
I got nothing on my end.
Yeah.
Their microphone's constantly lighting up for me, so
Yeah, same.
He should see that if his
Not
Discord
for me.
microphone's the right one.
For me,
True.
just not talking at all.
I don't even see the microphone lighting up for our friend
Yes.
here.
Not on here, but on here. If that
Oh
makes
yeah, we
sense.
know from which
That helps,
Korean
yeah.
thief.
There,
Yeah.
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 Not there,
Yeah,
here.
Cool.
Well, Alicia, I hope you can hear us. We'll give you time to try to fix your audio when... Oh, I see green. I see green. Is that green? Is that good green? Is that bad green?
There's
They
no
might be
battery.
trying to use, like, sometimes when you use push to talk, it lights up even when you're not actually speaking, if you're holding down the button. So maybe they're using push to talk, it's just lighting up because they're holding the button down. Possibility.
So what I'll do, Alicia, I will go with my little information I wanted to say here. If you find a way to get this working, feel free to interrupt me, and I'll give you your minute to introduce yourself. Maybe you want to maybe unplug and plug your microphone. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Put it on channel 3.
Hello?
Hey,
Hey.
there we go.
Oh, it worked. Okay, yeah, I just
Now it
unplugged and
works.
Plugged it back in.
Welcome
Thank
to
God.
this. There you go. It fixes
Very
everything.
good advice. Yeah, I guess.
Genius, genius. Well, floor is yours. You have a minute if you want to introduce yourself and tell us your experience with the game, your site, and where people can find you if this is something you want them to be doing.
Yeah, so I'm AliciaWalters85. I've been playing the game for about 5 to 6 months, I would say. I've had some pretty good games with new.
Oh.
Yeah, you're cutting out
A
again.
little. Oh, am I?
Yeah, you are.
Technical
I
difficulties.
think I might just unplug my headset and use my Chromebook.
That might work. That might work.
Any technical difficulties screen?
Question: is this any better?
Yes.
It is
That's-
much better.
Better.
A mile better.
Okay. How much did you hear?
Not a lot.
Half.
Had some good, then it cut out.
Yeah, my name's AliciaWalters85. Been playing for about 5 to 6 months. I've had some good games with neutral roles, some bad, and I'm not really a big fan of ID Thief for Yeti. So I don't really. And
Oh,
Yeah, you're
Okay.
cutting out again, Alicia. I'll leave you a few minutes to check it on your end, because it was fine for a while and then it stopped. You were doing fine during the audio test earlier, so
It's probably something with the input mode in voice and video. Like maybe the sensitivity, it's too high. It's too low, I mean.
Well,
This might be my terrible Wi-Fi.
oh, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is the source of all evil. Okay, while you're checking this, Alicia, I will just take the lead for 1 minute. I just want to say a few things to the audience. We have 32 viewers right now. That's I think that's a peak for the show, and we didn't even start it. That's incredible, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. A few things I want to tell you guys before I let these fine gentlemen start to duke it on again at each other and started to fight against each other. A few quick rules. We will be abiding by Twitch TOS tonight, so that also apply to the chat. You most of you are very often on Twitch, so you know what I mean. Some things we don't want to. There's a few things we don't want to hear: personal insults, doxing, personal information about people on the show. We're all friends here. That being said, this is a debate show, and I bloody well want to hear you guys fight with each other. So interrupting each other is very, very much allowed. You don't need to be gentle, so you can. It is a debate show. That being said, there we go. FTL gets it. FTL gets it. Already in the mood. We're gonna attack the IDs and the IDs, and of course not the person. We have our wonderful mod in the chat tonight. Greg will be doing the moderation, so thank you so much, Greg. Greg will be removing anything that is not very appropriate to the chat. Never happened again. It never happened yet. So 4 debates so far, we had to moderate. No one out. So you guys are the best in chat. We are gonna have 2 polls or 2 surveys during the debate. So yeah, Pizza gets a day off. Pizza did the job last week. She did very good. This time is Greg. Greg will be creating polls. So if you guys want to share with us in the chat what you think about the debate, whose team is on the win is winning, you will be allowed to vote for that. One last thing, we have some few emotes in the chat. So we have the right, and you have the wrong emote. So if you hear something that you totally agree or totally disagree with, feel free to spam these emotes. And that's pretty much it. There's one of those questions before we go on.
Not really, no. Not
No
for me.
question. Okay, Alicia, you want to try that again? You have a question, Pizza. What is your question? Why can't we read in French? Because I don't think people are going to understand it. It's going to cause more chaos. Wait, that's the point of reading French, right? So everyone has already made their thesis. Alicia, feel free to jump in at any time when you got your stuff figured out on your end. I have prepared a few questions on my end, so if I feel the debate is dying down a little bit, I will jump in and I will try to fuse the flame a little. You guys also notice we're at a new time today. We started 2 hours earlier, which is great for me because the original time was midnight for me, and I think was also for Khrai. Yep. So that will allow us to go on a little longer if the energy is still there. And also one last thing, after the game, we will have a debate lobby, Project Winter game. So any one of you who wants to join us, we're going to have at least one game or 2 that we're going to be broadcasting. And that's pretty much it. So does anyone want to go first, or you want me to go with a question? If you hear anything you dislike, disagree with, now it's your time to start it. So floor is yours, guys.
I have a few good points I want to bring out. So there's 3 main things that I want the other side to tackle on. The first point is being, how is having more roles going to be helping newer players? Because it's already confusing in order to have multiple different roles. People ask what their abilities are. And the only way you can go different for a neutral role is either making it so simplistic it adds nothing in terms of it being different than identity thief, or being more confusing, people being confused and them outing themselves asking for it. The second point is, will the devs be able to find a good idea or a good implementation to create the role? Because they've made many roles in the past and they've had to rework them, remove them, do so many things in order to go in a better scope of the game for a deceptive more way. You can't go combat, you have to go deception. And the third one being is darn it, I forgot my own point. All right, only 2 attacks.
Yeah, I would definitely like to agree with Rustery in the fact that like one of the things that makes me against this is the fact that I'm not even sure if the devs can make a role that would be nearly as good as ID Thief, because to me ID Thief is basically the best neutral role there could be.
That's why there's
And
ID
community
I mean
Thief's the
Yeti
biggest
works for
double-edged
Blackout.
sword on the whole game. ID Thief's the biggest double-edged sword in the whole game. Half the games you
Yeah.
have people teaming with one team or another, or RDMing. The number of reports and arguments about ID Thief RDMing is insane.
Yeah, ID
Like,
Thief does
you guys
have some
defending ID
problems.
Thief as a good neutral role and saying that there shouldn't be more because of that is a bad stance, in my opinion.
I want to go against my teammate and say ID Thief is the best role in the game.
I never said it was a bad role. I said it's a bad thing to say that it's a perfect role and we shouldn't have others because
I
of
don't
it.
think it's a perfect role. I just
agree
don't
with
think it'd be easy to make a better role. There is no
Well-
perfect role in the game.
That's why there's community suggestions. There's a whole community that has ideas for this stuff. And more
Yeah.
roles. We've talked about this in other debates. More roles, better. There are over time new people will discover them. That's the whole thing. If you jump into Project Winter immediately, they're going to understand nothing. It's going to take time to understand all the roles. Adding more roles is just going to get more fun into it all.
I want to add to
Yeah,
this, like it's content for the developers anyway. Like if they want to keep the game alive, like they need to keep adding stuff. So role can be one thing, maps can be another, but in this case, roles are pretty good. I think a new
Specifically against
neutral role would be
Rustery's
good.
point,
But when we're in the
against
middle,
new player thing, new players already don't know what they're doing in even basic mode, and several times during a night of playing, I have to basically tell someone, "Okay, buddy, you should go play a couple basic rounds, visit practice mode, and not join a game like this, because
Yeah,
it's
but-
unfun for them or anyone else in the lobby." So the game's already in that state. Like it's already completely in that state as it is. So unless you're talking about reworking everything to bring it back to a noob-friendly state, it's already there.
Also, I want to add that there's other social deception games available now anywhere that actually has more complicated role than Project Winter, and people don't seem to have a problem with that.
To combat against that, Project Winter is an 8-player game. The matches are significantly longer. So if you're killed by stupid mechanics or some wonky stuff that is imbalanced, it hurts 50 times more because you have to wait as it goes for so long. Other games like Agario and all that can have like the arsonists and stuff like that they can each individually have their own team and be trying to kill everyone else and conspire against, because it's just so fast that it doesn't matter what happens.
People
because
get
it's-
murdered 2 minutes into the game in bunkers in games all the time. That's just part of the game. It's
But
not the best
not
way
by
to play it,
rules.
in my opinion, but it still happens. But it's part of the game. So you're talking about a role making it more unfair somehow when it's just something that might happen at random.
Yeah, the roles aren't
I
going
think
to
you
dictate
see-
how people act.
Yeah, because that's that scenario. That's how the role's the traitor killing you. But I think what Rustery's saying is, let's say, this is just a random example. Let's say you don't know the whole survivor drop. That's just one. Like, there's must be 2 survivors. That's one scenario of something that new players don't know. There's many of these things throughout Project Winter that can confirm you're a traitor, even though you weren't trying to show that you're a traitor. And a new player could get killed early on. For example, like the truth serum. There was a clip the other day of someone being, "Oh, you're a defector, truth serum." It was like, I think this was before the whole change of lab being after first objective, but it was like 5 minutes into the game, this person's outed because he's new and doesn't understand things. And so I think Rustery's talking about scenarios like that happening.
I've had partners more experienced than me be outed for that same thing.
I can
Yeah.
agree with that. I think I had a lot of experience with that.
but we're like finally in a state where people agree on this game, like kind of between 2 different roles, and that's survivor and traitor. And even thinking about adding a third team now, like
There is
you have
already
one-
a third
have a
team. What are you
third
talking
team.
about?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
But
talking
then,
about
like,
something that makes that third team not so much just, oh, there's an ID thief. We have a detective checks for the role, and that's the axe against the ID thief, and he's basically screwed.
but then
And
Or
everyone,
just
you force him to pick a role.
I don't think
Like
anybody's in
there's so
disagreement.
many ways where the ID thief falls flat in some ways, and another neutral role that's someone else that's just causing chaos, where it's just like, oh, you're not poisoning stuff because you're ID thief. You might be something else. Just makes more options for the game.
In my opinion, this is a little bit off tangent. I want to have a buff for the identity thief to promote deception. I want them in the very beginning of the game to be recommended a role saying, hey guys, there's no detective. Use that information as you will. And then all of a sudden they just start claiming detective. And whenever someone's dead, hey detective, check this out. It's like, yeah, this guy definitely did it. It's these three people. I think it's this one.
Can I
will
add
agree
something?
with Rustery
Yeah,
that ID Thief is weak and needs a buff.
but I want to add something about the fact that of social deception. I feel like identity thief is like the role that with itself, just with the title itself, brings the most deception out of all the roles, because uh there's already a factor of like only having two teams in the whole game, and the third one being the ID thief. Since you have the option of choosing your side depending of which body you take to roll from, it gives all the social deception, because you can never know if you can trust an ID thief. And in that optic, I feel that's why neutral role should be more present into the game, because it's a social deception game that has PvP in it. And I feel like social deception in this game is kind of hard to attain, because it has to come from the player and not necessarily from the game. And ID Thief is one of the roles that actually brings it from the game. So bringing more neutral roles, or a variety of roles towards that one third team, is what would help actually to deception side of that game.
I would like to ask you guys, we've talked about the neutral role, but we focused so far on the identity thief. Do you guys think ID Thief is actually neutral, or ID Thief is not? Because ID Thief ends up being on a team by the end of the game, right? So they lost their neutral status.
Well, the ID Thief is technically a survivor until he takes a traitor role.
I think
he holds up the
in my
survivor
opinion,
drop.
can leave,
ID
though.
Thief is inherently.
No, but he hangs the
or it-
survivor drop though. Like if the two traitors take him hostage, the two survivors
Yeah.
don't get a survivor drop.
Yeah, he does. I do.
Like, he's
believe
technically a
the
survivor in a way, although I think helping the survivors out the gate is team.
Yeah,
it's
he's
a weird
half
position.
survivor.
Yeah.
He's half survivor.
Exactly. I mean,
he's
he's
definitely
neutral.
half survivor, but it's in the ID Thief's role to want to create chaos, because the ID Thief needs a dead body, and so he needs the traitors to he needs to kill someone, or needs the traitors to make a move to either get the traitors roll or the person the traitors kills roll. So the ID Thief inherently, if they want to, they can try to cause chaos to give traitors that opportunity.
Which is
At least that's how I
which
play
is why
my
he's
ID.
defined neutral.
Well, the
Mhm.
Which
thing
I
is,
figure is just the best category to fit him.
the thing is with Identity Thief, it's up to the player. If a player loves playing Survivor, I've met plenty of people that love playing Survivor. As soon as someone dies, they're just going to tap whatever body's dead because they're most likely Survivor, and they're just going to take that role. So usually that person will always be innocent or an innocent-based class. But there's other people like me that when we play ID Thief, we love to play traitor. It's interesting to just try and lead something and then betray everyone at the end. It's fun to become traitor. So it's neutral in the sense that everyone has a leniency of what type of role they want, but it's not neutral based on what person it is with the role.
I want to say something about that.
Go
it's
ahead,
the fact
go ahead.
that it's also the fact that the way people like to play ID Thief, it goes back to the thing I was saying earlier, that the fact that social deception come actually from the players and not actual the game mechanics. And I feel like ID Thief brings a little bit of that. So yeah, basically, if some people don't have enough to actually do the social deception aspect of it, so they'll just take whatever role they want instead.
So what do you even suggest to implement to a second neutral player? What do they do? What makes them different? Like it seems impossible to me. That's the only real thing that they have. It's someone that steals a role or tries to do something specifically to get on a team. Like that's the same thing essentially. You're adding another version of that guy, or essentially a Yeti.
Not necessarily. First of all, I had an experience. Shadow was in this game before. We actually tried to have a game of 5 identity thief with 2 survivors and 1 traitor, and the goal was literally a battle royale of the ID thief trying to have a role to actually escape, or try to have the traitor role to actually kill. And it made something very interesting, that the fact that the Truth Serum Lab was a big thing, because it was like, oh, I'm gonna make an alliance with like this survivor, gonna kill him, take his role, revive him. That's make 3 role that can escape now instead of 2. And ID Thief were trying to actually team up together to actually kill survivors, and the traitor was there as the ID Thief trying to like kill everyone because he didn't care. So it added a whole lot deception, because instead of like team working toward finding the traitor or like trying to do the objective, you were actually trying to find the roles and actually try to make you look good, as in like, hey, I'm helping you out. Hey, if you help me out, I'm gonna try to kill the other survivor for you so that you can take the role and then we can escape. And it was very interesting.
Yeah,
It's not-
there's different ways to play the ID Thief. Like there's always
Yes.
going to be that. But like what I want to know is like what other kind of neutral role would you even suggest that doesn't
And like I said
specific-
earlier, I have 4 that I could actually suggest.
Yeah. Give me one.
Okay. I can start with 1. You can take an actual role that exists in the game that you can actually just switch to the neutral role. For example, tracker. And instead of like stealing the dead player's role, you can just track the person you want to roll from. And once he dies, you actually literally take the role. That's one aspect that has game mechanics in it, easy to do, and it's kind of easy to understand. You know exactly where your piece of meat is on the map, and you don't necessarily need to do anything about it.
That's a good one. Just that sounds like a very no, like I actually like that. That
Sounds
fun.
better than tracker actually.
Another
Yeah, but
just take tracker.
I feel
and put neutral.
that could be a very easily abusable.
I have another one. This is actually an inspiration of the Werewolf card games, one of the expansion card, and would be the Enchanter. And instead of stealing rolls or anything, you just have a third party that's actually an enchanter, and his goal is to just enchant everyone like in the game. So if everyone that's alive is enchanted, he actually win by himself. But he needs to keep the people alive, because if they're dead and enchanted, well, it doesn't mean anything.
So some
It's
kind of
kinda
whisperer.
like a whisperer, yeah.
Yep, game mechanic already in there. Super easy.
I don't think they're going for the fantasy-ish on the regular gameplay. I think that sounds like a hell of a blackout roll, but not regular.
Also, I feel like
that is a blackout.
Something I like about the current neutral roles is that they
could give you
interact
another
with
one.
the 2 teams. The Enchanter is in itself an entire third team. The ID Thief is going to be choosing a side and talking with the 2 teams. That's what I like about it. There's the social deception in that, the fact that he can try to choose a side, or you can lie about the side. The Enchanter, I mean, yes, you can lie about being the Enchanter, but in yourself, you're a completely third party.
I got 2 more if you guys want.
Okay, I do want to hear them.
Okay. Another one would be the pickpocket. Literally, you're just going close to the people and you're trying to steal their items and stuff like that. And you have a percentage chance that you get actually caught. And once you get caught, everyone knows your role. Everybody sees you as like a traitor or something like that. And there's a chance that you can actually steal the role instead of the item. But if you get caught, you cannot steal anymore, and you're getting caught.
What happens to the person's role you stole if you're picking their pocket?
Well, it's like when you steal a role, it's like, let's say, for example, you stole to role of a defector. The defector becomes
downgraded to innocent or scout.
Demoted to innocent.
Yep, and the other one would be a con
That'd be
artist.
the interesting message compared to being converted to red. Hey, just boom, turn blue scout, blue innocent.
Well, the last one I had was literally like, that's literally a con artist. It's like, let's say, for example, someone's down and you pick it up, a little bit like the demon. Once you pick them up, you steal their role at the same time. They're alive, they know their role got stolen, but they know that the person was on the third team and joined their side. So it's kind of, let's say, more friendly towards like the people you steal their role from, because like instead of killing them and taking the role, you just down them and raise them up and you stole their role. Go ahead, Peezer.
No. I was covering this thing over my screen here.
Oh, okay, I thought you were like,
No.
It.
No.
So those were the role that I had in mind that could actually fit.
Should we be writing this stuff down, Khrai? Like, do I need to take notes?
It's been a week that I have those in my head.
Those are really
actually,
good ideas,
some of them I do like. So I'm going to remember a few of those.
Some of them I enjoy. I am personally very against the idea of the Enchanter being like an entire third team rather than just a neutral team. I don't think that would help the game a lot. Because I was also reading chat too, and I see someone else was saying a similar idea. Like it would to me it'd be pretty boring. Let's say I'm just having a great trader win or trader game, and all of a sudden the enchanter enchants everyone, or whatever they do, and all of a sudden just the enchanter's enchanted everyone appears on the screen, and I'm like putting 8,000 traps in the second objective, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the survivors. Oh nope, the enchanter won. I'm sorry.
Oops.
What if
Game over.
I feel you're straying from the whole
I could just be like Yeti.
core of the game at this point. Like you're adding just like a whole different.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
so I think neutral should be a neutral role, not a neutral team, rather than a third team. Well, that's what the enchanter is. It's a third team.
I'm fine with this. Are you fine with the other roles that I mentioned, though?
I feel like that pickpocket thing would be implemented incredibly well into a ID thief, but he doesn't need to be his own whole other thing. That's a really cool idea, but at the same time, your guy's side is supposed to be adding another one, like a whole different one.
There could be several varianted thieves. You could just
reworks are there, and the whole idea of that guy is to steal someone's identity, to steal their whole get out on that extra seat, right? I think you're just straying really far from the core of the game and going more into what Blackout would totally be acceptable with.
Yeah. I feel like Blackout is definitely much more of a playground when it comes to I would be much more okay adding neutral roles into Blackout. I'm mostly arguing for normal mode here.
Yeah, this discussion is mostly just to recenter, mostly about normal mode, not about custom, not about Blackout.
Yes, on Blackout, my opinions would be different from Blackout, because Blackout to me, I'm not as serious when I play it. I find I play Blackout to be chaotic and fun, and I enjoy both modes a lot. I definitely prefer normal, but I find Blackout to be fun in its own way. And for Blackout, I would actually be a positive to add more neutral roles.
But the thing is, it depends how you see the neutral. Do you see it as it has to be someone that actually steal a role, or do you just see it as a neutral role? Because, me, I see it as a neutral role. It doesn't mean that it has to be some sort of ID thief. That's why.
It doesn't have to be an ID thief. I just think the neutral role has to, similar to the Yeti, it can work with either side. So
at this point, are we arguing what's the best role, or have you guys given up on your pleads of no more neutrals? Have we just decided what's the best?
I don't want to see I don't want to see a whole other added role. I think the ID thief is great.
No.
That's what I said a couple times already.
Yeah,
but reworks are always a thing. I'm up for.
Well, what about this then? Just entirely almost off topic. What if, as an ID, you spawned in as ID, but instead of just you had to take a body, there were several different ways you could take a role, but you spawned in as a different way to take a role each time. For example, you could just spawn as a normal ID where you take a role off a body, or maybe one of Khrai's ideas, but you still have to take a role. It's just a different way of doing it.
That's the point. For example, for the tracker one, there's no ID thief. There's just the neutral tracker, for example.
The role we added that just singles one guy out and kills him.
Yeah, I feel like that's just it's basically just called an assassin's. Here's a target.
Not even
kill
just
it.
a straight murder.
I don't
put a dot on you and following you into the woods.
Kill someone would be a lot of fun. I don't think a role that's you have to kill this person would be a lot of fun. If we were to make a neutral role, its objective shouldn't be to kill people or kill someone. It can if it wants to. ID
Isn't that the whole purpose of the ID thief? They have to have someone die.
But that's not new.
If we're adding a new role, they don't need to kill someone. If it needs to kill someone for its objective, then I think it's bad.
I want to add something to Shadow's idea here. In my view, well, I'm not going to give my opinion, but the ID thief doesn't have an incentive to take either side, right? They kind of win by having more fun than everybody else anyway. So as an ID thief, personally, I will just go and poison the shit of everything and just have a lot of fun seeing people being sick all the time. And I don't care if I get a role or not. I've had my fun. It was fun for me. Would it be better, Shadow, to bring back to what you said, to have the ID thief have a timer and let's say they absolutely have to take a role within, let's say, 15 minutes, otherwise they die and they lose the game. They don't just lose the game, but they get punished for it by being not there anymore. That would be more neutral, right?
No, I think exactly what you do, what you were just talking about, poisoning everyone, I think that's almost half the point of the ID thief. That's if you're having fun doing that, keep doing it.
Yeah, You're
I
finishing
agree
part 1 and
because-
2. You're supposed to get the roll though too, right?
Eventually,
Yeah,
you
well,
can
that's-
do
that's
that,
what I was
but
doing,
have your
because-
fun first.
Yeah.
ID Thief is meant by causing chaos. You almost give opportunities to traitors. By poisoning people, you weaken them for the traitors, and you also cause infighting, which traitors thrive on chaos and infighting. And so, by creating that as an ID Thief, you make it easier for the traitors. You slow down the objective. You make it easier for the traitors to make a move and get a kill, which will allow you to take the role. Or the traitors fail and you get the traitor role. Whichever one works.
I remembered my third point that I was going to mention. A long time ago, Solfakin was streaming, and way back then with the Truth Serum lab, a traitor had the Truth Serum and went up to the identity thief and syringed him and saw he was a survivor, and Solf was just there, holding his mouth, like, shocked, like he just found out who the traitor is, but he had no idea of knowing. The essence of a neutral role is that nobody knows who you are. You're completely neutral. You can go with whatever side you want in the beginning, but the issue is with like the pickpocket and stuff like that, you can prove you are the neutral role. There is no deception in it. You can like say, I can pickpocket, I want to join the traitors. Or even then, they need to have their own objective to win. It's a game where you have to work together to complete objectives, and having more neutral roles taking away from the survivors adds more RNG that sure adds more elements of chaos, but also can really annoy some players when all of a sudden this thing happens and they're just going to have to kill this player now.
I want to take a moment to just try to go back to Alicia Walters. We didn't hear you so far. Are you back? Are you with us? Not yet. Not yet. Okay, I'll take a moment to people in the chat. I forgot to tell you at the beginning. At the end of the debate, we will have a moment where we will be answering questions for the chat. So if you have any questions you want to be answered, I see Silver Horsey and Real Deal Seal already sent us a few questions. Make sure to at me, so at tag Asparagus Daiquiri or tag entered. What's his name? Greg. Greg, our mod tonight. I forgot his name on the Discord. Entered something. Well, anyway, just entered future. There you go. Thank you so much. Make sure to tag at least one of us, and he will send me all the questions, and I will be able to forward them to the guests who it is aimed at. So there you go. I'll give you back the discussion, guys. We talk about a lot about the identity thief specifically, and I have more question about that later on. I would like if we can try to steer with, let's say, for a while, just talk about other potential neutral roles. Khrai had a good idea to bring us some suggestions. I think some of them sounded pretty good. Some of them were met with a little more doubt, should I say. What else than just basic ID thief can we say about neutral roles?
I think a good basis is to be thinking about the neutral role that it should not be a role that should win on its own. I know I suggested something like the Enchanter that could actually technically win on its own, but like it's a very hard thing to actually do. But I would say as long as the neutral role has to pick a side towards CN, I think it's a good basis to actually know what a good neutral role should be.
What makes a role neutral then versus being on the third team? Is there actually a difference between being neutral or being the third team?
Isn't neutral being on the third team? Well,
you only play, the way I look at it is only a third team if you make it a third team. Like you are joining a team no matter what to complete an objective, which that's your main goal.
Well, like you're not doing that necessarily, because you, as an ID thief, you're not supposed to embolden the survivors to the point where they're just going to steamroll the game. Like you're not joining a team pre-making that choice. So like the things you are doing have to be in some way neutral, otherwise you tank your own game and you don't complete your own objective. Like
I say the difference between neutral and third team. I think third team would be to have its own objective and to have its own win, to be on its own. But for neutral, you aren't on either side. You're in between. You work on both, or you betray both. it's third team. I make it. It seems like I don't know. That makes me feel like it's its own. It works by itself. It does its own things.
Because by definition, neutral means that you're neither for or against both teams. While being a third team, you're technically against both teams.
That means you're the moderator.
A little bit, yeah.
For me, third role would be someone that doesn't care who they're affecting, whether it be survivor or traitor. They are just in it to win it and do their objective. A neutral role would be something that a traitor.
That's genuinely how I approach ID. Is I don't care who I hurt until there's a body for me to get.
Yeah, and then a neutral role.
How is that not neutral?
Well, for a neutral role, what I was saying is, if a traitor came to you, and you could say, "I'm Identity Thief" or "I'm Yeti," they can ponder and say, "Is he going to work for me or he's not?" He's somewhat neutral, but it helps both sides, because I can be a survivor or like a hunter in Blackout if you wanted to discuss it over Yeti and all that. And you can say, "Oh, I'm Yeti." And they have to ponder and say, is this person actually one? Is he going to ally with me? Because he's neutral. He's allowed to do anything. He has no restriction.
Not really. The ID Thief's not supposed to go just team on traitors.
No, he can go with either side.
Not
He still needs to kill a traitor. He still needs to take the role.
If two traitors go grab the ID Thief, run around, murder everyone but one person, then lets the ID Thief execute him, I'd say that's some bad manners.
Yeah, that's team.
Just saying.
That's not what they do.
So that's what you're basically kind of saying, is they can work on my team. That's what you're basically implying. Just I made it very
let this person live. So, my teammate died. ID Thief can now take it. Would you let that person live so that they can help you later?
You can also lie to the traitor.
That's different than the way you're kind of portraying the "will he work with me" kind of thing. That's very different than letting him live so I have another chance.
I've learned my lesson. I never let him live.
That's another thing with the ID Thief too. Is a lot of people, as soon as the ID Thief's known, they just smack him dead.
I played a game last night. It still should be a rule you don't tell people you are, though. I mean, that's.
Oh yeah, I rarely tell people.
I rarely claim ID Thief unless I'm forced to. Like sometimes I'll claim hacker, and then two other hackers will claim and be like, "Oh shoot," and then they'll all start sussing me, and I'll be like, "Yeah, okay, I'm the ID Thief."
I think it was last night I got chased for 10 minutes straight and then murdered because I was ID Thief and didn't give my role.
Oof. Oof.
I feel like it's still better to give her a role than not. Like if they ask you for the role, I'll just say something random, and you'll usually accept it.
Wouldn't that be more of a you problem, kind of? And what I mean by that is more like...
You had to say it, Khrai, right? You had to say it.
But, well, it's more the fact that...
It's the you problem.
It's more like... it's not if you trust a role, it's if you trust the person that actually said it. Like, I know for a fact that when I'm in game with some people, they tend to trust me quite fast, but that's the way I am because I don't do much social deception. Actually, my deception is being like very truthful, for example.
Khrai, it's because of the beard.
Yeah, probably. But like, I mean, there's other people that are like more deceptive towards when they have to roll, or actually when they play any role into the game. So it's more of a that's why I say it's more of a you problem, because depending on who has to roll, I can actually trust them when they actually tell me something.
Yeah, like I happen to know Asparagus here almost always lies about ID Thief. I remember once I stole a traitor as ID Thief. I kill Asparagus and he goes, "Yeah, I'm ID Thief, let me live." And I'm thinking to myself, "Yeah, right, bucko."
That's why I don't let any of them live. I don't care.
I know you, Peezer, don't lie about ID Thief, or at least nearly as much.
I don't. I never lie to people.
I've never seen you lie about ID Thief. Asparagus, I'd say whenever he claims ID Thief, there's about a 75% chance he's not ID Thief.
To go into a tangent.
So that means you never know if I am actually, because I say it all the time, so it works, kind of, right?
Anyways,
get you killed
unless I'm desperate.
To go into a tangent, ID Thief is one of my favorite roles because it's truly neutral just by the role existing. Sure, the person can be biased and want to be traitor and all that, but those are specifics. I love going to a traitor as a non-ID Thief role and saying, "Dude, I'm ID Thief, want to work for you." I show them a few traitor crates, they open it, they give me a poison crossbow, and I just kill them. It's hilarious. It's the best thing ever.
That is indeed very fun. It doesn't work often though.
You were the
works...
reason you get killed all the time.
Exactly.
Oh, I found the guy.
You were the
All right.
reason a new person sees yellow and says, "I see yellow," and dies 10 seconds out
Yeah.
in the front of the cabin.
But ID Thief by itself, just by the title of having it, is give you so much information before everyone else. Like, even if you're a trader and you have to, like, the roll list of everyone, like, you know there's an ID Thief, you don't know who it is. But if you're ID Thief, you're literally just like, I have a cushion of, like, against a trader and against a survivor because I am neutral. So it's so much, like, less pressure for the ID Thief to actually, like, do something about it because he didn't choose a role yet.
Is it bad for the survivors to kill someone and then find himself as the ID thief? Because you have someone who could potentially work with you. So when there's an ID thief, it's 5v1 v2. It most likely that's not kill yourself. It's usually like 5v3 because the ID thief will always join the more fun side, especially if they're being pushed away by the survivor. It says, "Yeah, we don't want you. We want to kill you."
I don't know about that. I've watched plenty of ID thieves standing at the chopper, dropping their weapon because they can't get on because they help the survivors too much.
I'm typically for letting the ID thief live. If it's someone I know tends to go trader, I'll usually keep a close eye on them and try to stick with them to see what bodies they touch. And I usually won't kill them unless I do something. They start doing really weird, like if they start poisoning things again after they've claimed ID thief, I'll be like, "Hey, stop it." And it's Vegas. But yeah.
You can't stop someone from having fun, FTL.
Yeah, I know, but it's stopping me from winning. No.
That's why
you have 6 poisons on you, one after another.
I think that's the time when you can kill the ID, is when you feel as a survivor it's stopping you from winning.
Yeah.
The
other day,
straight up,
I had 9 this is a month ago or so. I had 9 poisons on me as an ID thief. A trader downed me. I was like, "Res me, and I can prove I'm ID thief." They res me, and I just dropped 9 poisons at their feet. They're like, "Okay, you can go."
Okay.
ID thief feels like it's a little bit gutted because I played a match when pretty much every role was an instant confirm. So you can open bunkers as hacker, you can see health as medic and stuff like that. And it just got really surprising. "Oh, I'm medic. Oh, I see your health." And they all come by. And then one guy came up to me in the middle of everyone and say, "What can you do?" And I'm like,
it's basically that right now. That's where the ID thief is right now in terms of like power levels. Not that I want everything to get better, but really they're at the bottom because they have a complete direct counter in the detective, and they're just kind of at the whims of people being nice.
So should there always be a detective in the game when there's an ID thief? Because those roles are random, right? So Zeke just said that's a perfect counter.
I don't even think the detective is that great of a role.
It is the exact direct counter.
Peezer, I'm going to fight you on this. The detective is the best role of them all. It's the best role ever.
Yeah, we'll fight at the fire I'm cooking meat on.
Detective has screwed me over more than enough times.
Wait,
Do you think it like something like it comes out that okay? So it was this time I was sheeping, and I think this was a PR. Well, whenever I'm trader, okay, not as ID thief, it screws me over less, but I can say detective is. Never mind. I'm just gonna stop.
If like the detective survivor role is catching the traitor, I think that's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one.
Oh, by the way, we lost.
Yeah, we lost him. Okay, let's.
One of the survivors killed our members.
The 4v3 debate. This is unfair.
This became a bit unfair. We did lose Alicia.
I don't really feel like it's a 4v3. I'm not talking at all. I've not had any points to make.
Okay, true.
Your presence is overwhelming them.
Got the head count. You're a meat shield.
Yeah, people that are on the bench still get the championship. Don't worry.
You got the webcam. It's more powerful.
His glare has been suppressing me.
Okay, Preston, then I have a question directly for you here.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah.
Well, you pointed out, so I want you back. You were there last week, right? When we talked about the medic?
Yes.
Yes, a Red 5. This is also for you. I think you're there, Red 5. A few people mentioned in the chat.
Disappeared on stream.
Oh, yeah, well, I had to remove the overlay because there's not enough people anymore, so... That's
I mean,
that's
it's really only me and Rustery down here. The rest were pretty spot on.
We can share a name,
Yeah.
me and Peezer.
Yeah, all right.
So yeah, last week a few times it was mentioned that the medic might be liked as a potential neutral role. Preston, anything to say about it?
I don't think I said anything about that.
I know, and that's what I'm asking you, if you have to say anything to say about it.
Yes.
If certain things are tweaked, I could see it maybe working, but I'd have to go through my mind and actually think about it more than that. But maybe it could probably work.
And you guys, what about medic as a neutral role?
The medic ID, I want to see it, and I want to praise it, and I want to love it.
A medic or an ID with that revive ability would be just chaos. Like, imagine just the situation walking up as an ID with like 4 people down and just being like, I'm gonna hit F and just walk away.
Exactly.
Stuff
exactly.
like that. Like, that's the
what I
situation
want.
I was just imagining when that suggestion was made.
That's exactly what I want. I'm on that train.
In the in the topic of that, instead of just having more roles, like be more roles or no more roles for neutral, why not just give Yeti and ID Thief a specific set of abilities that are random? They're still the same role, same everything,
Well,
but you
I
can
have a
also
question.
have
So this is about normal. Is the people on the no opposed to a Yeti or similar to Yeti being in normal mode?
I'm against it.
In normal mode?
For what reasons?
I feel like Yeti fits Blackout well, because in Blackout, half the game is about turning sides, and Yeti at any point can change sides. And I feel like, with Blackout, what you do is you change. The traitor switches the sides of players, and I feel like it just kind of, I don't know, it works with Blackout and how the theme of the actual game flows. How they can just switch sides.
Yeti's garbage, just like Blackout.
I personally enjoy Yeti. I don't think it would work well in normal, but
I don't want it because I don't see it as adding anything new to the table. We already have ID Thief.
I feel like
he takes a role. There's deception in that. Oh, I need to run over here for a role. Why were you gone? Oh, I just took survivor role. With Yeti, it's just sort of walking around saying, "Oh, I'm Yeti. Don't hurt me. Oh, I'm gonna walk here now."
Neutral tracker would be better than the Yeti in normal game.
Oh, I
yeah. Too with Yeti as well. It's not looked as down upon when you kill people as Yeti, as ID Thief. And Yeti oftentimes will just be another traitor, and people are okay with that. And I don't think that would be as good in normal mode, because ID Thief killing people with traitor is very looked down upon if you haven't stolen a role yet. If you're just killing people for the sake of being a traitor.
Shadow, we just had the ultimate counter to your point. Dude Man here's Blackout is only for those who enjoy fine dining.
I haven't argued with Dude Man like
is Arby's fine dining to you?
Okay. Blackout, I will say, is a lot of fun when I just want to have chaos, especially with friends. Like, there was one time where as Yeti, I put 30 bear traps outside of cabin when everyone was at second objective. They came back and they came to my bear trap minefield. I have some screenshots somewhere of it. And it was the most fun time.
I actually, in all seriousness, I actually don't mind Blackout. It's just I prefer normal so much more.
I do prefer normal
fun with
more,
friends.
But...
Yeah,
I think for Blackout, my point for it is to stands.
Sure.
Other side, I'm sorry, but you've officially lost this debate. Peezer's dog is just too good. It automatically.
I should get my dog.
I can try to get my dog cat if you want.
We can have 2 dogs.
The real test is who is the cutest animal.
That's how you win the debate.
Hey, stop eating stuff on the floor.
Well, that's. Oh, there you go.
Stop putting stuff on the floor.
There's nothing on the floor.
That's just part of the debate. We're far from being done, guys. Okay, do neutral role cause? So we had to talk about the diversity and chaos and insanity and confusion. So would more neutral role cause too much distraction into the aim of the game, or that would be indeed a good thing for it?
I think it would be a good thing.
I think if you had more than one neutral role, maybe, but I think just more variety in them is all I'm asking for. Not more than one quantity.
We're not asking
That's
for
I
two
feel
neutral
like
roles in a game.
Yeah, something that can be alternated in with ID. And again, I'm not saying that it has to be some random role that's badly thought of, but something that has like a very concise idea. I would actually love something that can cause more chaos, but not be the ID thief.
My idea. It just whatever it would be wouldn't be. It just couldn't be like the main focus of the game. Like that, then you're straying really far away from what it was. Like I said earlier, like if you were to elaborate and have something that didn't sit in the back of, or I guess the front of your mind the whole time, like, well, fuck, the ID thief is here who's going to specifically, like, you know, track me down specifically or something like that. I don't know. I as funny as that sounds, that would be very, that specific suggestion would be very shitty for a lot of people.
Just gonna point out that FTL here entered the economy cheat code and bring the big fluffy white dog. That's
That's how
too
their
easy.
arguments aren't that good.
Yeah, that's it. Red team's up.
It sounds like the entire opposing team's whole standpoint is that they just want a good neutral role. That sounds like what they're asking for, unless I've misheard.
Well,
ID thief's great.
I mean, if there were to be another one, you need it to be a good role. That seems to be your problem. Is you keep saying how there's no actual other role you want.
Yeah, you can't imagine a scenario in which they find something that's neutral that works.
Yeah, but if they do, then it'd be good. That'd be good.
But the issue is,
but would it?
Trust me, it would be good.
But what would it be?
The issue is we're in an uphill battle because we're trying to promote that no change is better than change, and more content's always good. Everyone's going to want, more content added to the game. Of course, it's a no-brainer because having more stuff to do is always good. And a lot of the viewers here are people that play Project Winter, are invested with it, already have an opinion on it, and having more content to shake things up will change it. So we're trying to argue. Yeah, we're trying to argue that having less is better for overall for the community, simplicity, and also the fear that the devs are going to pull out a role that's going to one-shot everyone that doesn't look at them every 2 seconds.
Well, I think the suggestion I made earlier seemed kind of fair, but like that's up for debate, I guess. Which we are actually in one.
That could be an entire debate, a new debate out of itself. These suggestions, I think some of them, personally, I like them. Some of them, I think, are too early, too easy to confirm. But yeah, we could have a debate on that. You can, I'm going to take notes and add this in the Discord topics. And if we have enough people to vote on them, that'd be great. I love these ideas.
We come up with one role each and we do a battle royale and a voting system.
8 team, 1v1, v1, v1. So see, more neutral roles. There you go. Everyone's neutral there.
I win.
So Red 5 said something I pointed out earlier. I want to bring that up because this is something I've thinking a lot too, and I think we just barely placed on it at the beginning. Red 5 says the only neutral role in the game should have I'm going to start this again. The only neutral role that the game should have are truly neutral roles, and I don't think ID or Yeti do that. Both need to pick a side to win, and they aren't really neutral. So again,
suggesting that there should be a role that just forever stays, like, he wants his own team. They don't want to ever pick a side.
Enchanter.
They want there to be a third team, not in between their own team.
Well,
which I figured is the opposite of what we want from neutral.
To be honest, Yeti is pretty neutral. They literally don't have to join any side. They can just stay outside the vehicle and just chill in the corner of the map and say, "I win."
Yeah, because either win as last man standing or by escaping.
In Blackout, that works. Having a third, I would be okay with having a third party in Blackout, similar to Yeti's almost half a third party. In normal mode, I don't think it would be that good. So I disagree. I think the neutral should pick a side, or at least be able to work with a side and win, so they win with a side.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be against a third.
If you did have a truly neutral role, though, they would be the most useless thing in the entire game. Like,
I feel like they'd be
no
disconnected.
There'd be no reason for them to be around.
Yeah,
they just need some type of objective that puts them in conflict with the other teams. That's all it would have to be. Right? It doesn't have to be.
And finish first, like, shut down second.
Khrai really wants his idea to get through.
Like,
well, I mean, so far every point that you guys just mentioned is like, oh, if it's a neutral role, a third role, it has to have its own objective to actually win. Well, Enchanter that I proposed earlier has that. Well, like Pickpocket could have that, stuff like that. I mean,
I really feel a pickpocket would be so fun, but
I think pickpocket would be enjoyable. I just don't know how it would be good for the game. Like it'd be fun to play on a few times to pickpocket, but long term, would it really be a good role? Like,
And the issue
I
is
definitely
that's
think the
an
first few
insecure.
times you get it, it'd be yeah, exactly. I think the first few times you get it, you'd be like, wow, this is a chaotic and fun role. Because like oftentimes when it comes to like whenever I get a new board game, sometimes like, oh, this is a great game, and then after like 10 times of playing it, I'm like, this game has some problems. Where it's like, I guess.
My counter argument to that is, does a new role mean has to be like the best role in the game each time they release?
No.
That's the thing.
No, I just think
So-
it
Yeah, I was
needs
gonna
to
say
have.
we got Tracker with the last release, so
Yeah.
The question is, do you want to roll the dice and get a bad roll of a bad roll? Or do you want to roll the dice and get a good one, or just not play at all? Personally, I think less is more in this case. You can make what we have better, or you can just roll the dice.
Yeah.
I think
Preston's
you're rolling the
camera
dice
glitching out.
regardless of what you say there, because even some update that might seem innocuous can change things drastically. Like even
little
like,
change can be
there's-
good big
like
changes.
like when they changed effector stuff, they just changed a couple numbers, and oh my god, did that ever become bad for a while? They changed what, 2 numbers, the number of them that can exist, and how long it took to get a charge, essentially.
Or
And
if
it
you went
just
the other way,
destroyed everything.
just
Oh,
put
what
them in
about Hacker?
negatives.
What about Hacker, huh?
Yeah,
Or Hacker,
that's-
another one that they
yeah.
turned into fucking Super Saiyan by changing a number.
And then they completely ruined him.
So
Yeah, hacker.
No.
I don't think saying that we should
No.
just adjust what's here is necessarily being like, oh, they're going to do a small adjustment, it's going to work perfectly, and it's a safe bet. I think any
Alright.
adjustment could be something that changes things drastically.
Just talking about bad rolls, I know, like Red 5's going to send an assassin or something for me for saying this. But
Oh, no.
back then, there was a role called the Saboteur. Who knows about
It's in
Saboteur?
it's a custom game right now.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
it's
custom
available
game?
now. You can play it
Oh,
now.
that's
Yep.
It was
bad.
just added back in.
Oh well, I discovered this role last week, and it's the best role ever.
I
Okay.
agree with
How
Red 5 from
dare
chat.
you.
No
No,
safe.
It's the
no.
most forced thing. That's the most fun I've had is this game since I played Saboteur. That's the best thing.
Does it still have the nerf where you can't drink energy drinks?
Yes, you can't get
Yeah.
energy drink buffs.
It should absolutely have that nerf, but I think it should have some proxy credits. Because you can get so many landmines so cheap and so
All right,
fast.
let me say this.
Like,
Saboteur was there before proxy credits. Only trader credits from trader
Yeah.
boxes you can get it.
and Saboteur
So-
was also there, if I'm not mistaken, before ragdolling mines,
Yes, was before that.
which is
And-
huge.
And also placing it on things. No, but here's the problem. It's a stealthy class because you can't get energy drinks, so you can't go out and get strong and then start preparing your traps like a madman. You have to go to the cabin in order to make these. So the moment, let's say you get infinite credits, the moment you go to cabin, hey, what are you making? Oh, nothing. And then your entire inventory is just filled with mines. So there goes your
I'll
plan out
argue
the
that with
window.
you have craftable sabotages and solar pulses and things like that now.
We
to
have that now,
mitigate those
but
issues.
not before.
I know. I'll argue now in the game, if you add proxy credits in, it might fit into the normal game a lot better than a lot of people would realize, especially with all those other things. But I think right now, with its no proxy credits, it's really weird and odd. Even
I will
in
never
custom
love
games.
Saboteur.
Okay,
I'll
Zeke.
never love him.
Zeke, you just picked my mind with something there. The craftable sabotage. Should the neutral role be able to craft those to
Maybe
counter
not the
traitors?
sabotage, maybe not like remote sabotage, but I
Yeah.
could see the neutral role being able to craft things like bunnies and solar
Maybe.
flare.
Like
So
a
what you
four,
have to have
four
is-
solar flares, because sometimes you get 3 solar flares in a row within 10 minutes, and then the game is over.
So then, how would they do that though? Well, what would be the method?
Yeah, that's the question. Maybe it'd be some sort of they get
ID
one per game.
points?
And they get ID points. They have
How much
sort
do
of
you
one
throw
ID
per
point.
They
Control.
start with it,
You poison 50 people, here's 50 points. Go wild.
or you start with it like you have
Doesn't
one
work for
random that's put
Asparagus.
into your inventory.
Yeah, you have one, or you
You
start
cannot
with like
craft
one.
anything.
You have one credit, and you can spend that credit on either one remote or the other.
Something
was-
like that, yeah.
I like this.
I was talking about abilities that you could have, like how the medic was before, like you could heal people by holding F, or like as Whisper you can hold F. Maybe ID Thief will have a really long cooldown, and then it's just a random ability there, like I don't know, bunny mode, solar flare, something there. So they have a set cooldown they can do, and then they can make something happen if they need chaos or just something.
To answer what Red 5 said about why do neutral roles need to use traitor stuff, I mean, with the whole solar flare and bunnies, just by those two themselves, they give them like amazing opportunities to do whatever they want as the neutral role, to poison or to kill or to do this or to that, just cause more chaos to do what they need to do. I feel like that, depending on how you do it and what they access, it could just add more to it, add more chaos, which is what the neutral is.
Okay, should you give these ability just to the neutral guy and remove it from the traitor? Because if like 3 people has the ability to do solar flares, that game is over. You can't play it.
I think
we just got a sheep trader buff. We don't need to yank it away.
I think it's got to be, if you're gonna do that for the neutral, it's got to be done in a very specific way to make it not so weird with the traders. But if done correctly, it could be very well, very good.
Okay, I have a question here specifically for the yes team. I also have prepared a question for the no team. I'll go for the yes team first. Guys, do you ever play custom since you want more neutral roles? And if you do you add more random roles when you play custom?
Like I said earlier, with Shadow, we once played a game with 5 ID Thief, 2 survivors, and 1 traitor. And the game shift from being more like, instead of trying to do objectives and find who was the bad guy, it was more like, who do you trust? Who do you do social deception to actually get a role to actually get out? It felt more like a battle royale, but the social deception was way more there than in an actual game, because ID Thief had the need to actually get the food that they need to actually win, because there were only 3 roles available for 5 ID Thieves, so that means there's some ID Thief that won't make it.
Or was it fun?
That's
what really concerns me. I play game to have fun.
It was
fun.
really fun.
Okay.
It's just like, it's not the usual way that you play Project Winter, so I can see the confusion.
It's new and unique, and for the first time, confused. But honestly, yeah, no, it was enjoyable.
It was a good confusion, because you felt for the first time. You felt for the first time that you had to trust someone for what they say and not for what they are.
Okay, Preston, do you ever play custom modes? And if you do you add more neutral roles in them?
I believe I've actually played the same mode as Khrai, with some other people maybe, but yeah, no, yeah, we've done so, and it was fairly fun when we did it. It's been a while since we've done it, so I can't give any actual words for that.
That's fair. Zeke, how about you? Any customs?
I've played some customs. Usually they're more played in order to make the lobby more appropriate for the people in it, because games would be finishing in 9 to 10 minutes one side or another just because of necessity of the lobby, so they wanted to adjust that stuff. Well, deathballing or both traders just going ham in 10 minutes. Either way, it just goes to 50-50 kind of. Sometimes we accidentally or have more than one ID on. I haven't really got a lobby together to do the new roles, although I really want to.
Okay, for a question for the no team then. Well, there's 3 of you now, but I think you're going to be able to answer that as well. No team, I'll go to one of you one by one. What is the main problem with neutral roles?
That's a good one.
You caught me off guard here.
Are you saying neutral roles as a whole, or the one that we currently have, like the ones we have?
Whatever, both.
Oh. It's like I said earlier, I feel like you're just leaving the game and you're focusing more on like a third person that doesn't really add to the progress, like the objective at all. Like that's just
If I can cut in, I would say I argue that it takes away, because the objective happens too fast and normal. In most lobbies that aren't completely like new or unfamiliar. As familiarity increases, though, time decreases on objectives, which is where the neutral rule comes in by increasing that.
I would say
I feel their update just did that though. Like, sorry, buddy, their recent update, I've noticed games have been going on at least 15 minutes for me almost every single time. Like, I have yet to finish one in under 10 in a long time.
Oh, the new update did a lot of good.
Yeah.
Yeah, new update's been great. I loved it.
Yep.
Congrats.
I feel the biggest issue with neutral roles as a whole is how the survivors lose one more potential person in their team, and most times that I see it, the ID thief either A, kills someone, so kills another survivor just to become a survivor, so they're one person down, or B, just instantly beelines it for the traitor, so the traitor is mostly getting something out of that, and with some lobbies with some really good traitors, it just makes the steamroller even stronger.
So, Ruster, wouldn't be on the survivors to have tried to get an incentive to get the ID to work with them instead of against them then?
Maybe, but the way that it currently is, because the only other options like currencies or something incentive that you can give someone besides a fun value is just currency that people already have tons of, can grind easily. Even when artifacts they just get with playtime. Maybe if there was an XP system or something.
I don't mean to but that sounds like a you and the people that are being played with problem kind of thing. Like it's the same kind of issue in all.
Look at
Khrei's
Khrei's face.
right?
Look at Khrei's smile. He's so happy you said that.
Like I'm just merely saying like that's the same thing as an ID teaming or whatever. It's just how the person decides to play.
No, but I'm just saying from it existing. So there's 6 survivors. Bam, now it's 5, and now there's an ID thief.
And I'd make the point that 6v2 is overweighted to survivors. Like survivors are winning more often in those 6v2 games, most likely. And if everybody's on the same skill level, they're probably steamrolling them.
Depends on the players.
It'll always depend on the players for everything.
Yeah. Everything depends on the players.
Yeah, there's all of it will. No matter what you do.
I'll give it that to FTL. Just coming back to the question, finish the round table. FTL, what is in your view the main problem with neutral roles that we have, or additional? The idea of neutral roles in Project Winter.
For me, I don't have much of a problem with the current neutral ID thief. I don't know, maybe it's like, I don't know if there's a problem there. I just don't think adding more neutral roles is the solution to what, the whole problem of having, unbalanced objectives or other things. I personally really like the ID thief currently. It could use some buffs. I don't know. We discussed earlier, but I just really like the ID thief as it is right now. I don't have much to say on this question.
So you like it, but you don't want more, right?
Yeah, I'd love more. I'd always love to poison more people.
No, I mean, you like the idea of one ID thief, but okay. One last question. One last question I heard here. A few of you said about balance of the team. So would you guys, especially on the no side, would be more inclined to have more neutral roles if the number of traitors were to be reduced? Let's say you have one traitor, 1 or 2 neutral person that could potentially go from one side to the other, then a bunch of survivors.
I would say not reduce the traitor amount at all, because
I would say not reduce.
Like,
but if the traitors were to be reduced for whatever reason, then yeah, I would put more neutrals. But I would say not to reduce the traitors.
If you added 2 more players, so it's 10 players, and then you had 1 more neutral and 1 more survivor, I'd be fine with that. But
yeah, I'd be good for that.
Traitor removes the teamwork from their side and would make it.
You can't remove a traitor in normal because so correct me if I'm wrong here, but the game honestly feels kind of like if it was to be a fair matchup, it's about 2.5 traitors to the 6 survivors is what the number should be. If you put it to 3, traitors dominate. If you leave it at 2 and everybody's equal, survivors will usually win. It's somewhere in between there. I don't think you could ever take a traitor away in normal mode.
We're about to go into that subject. I don't remember a game where it's very rare that I saw traitors reviving a survivor into a traitor and see them lose. It's been pretty rare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually
I know one
whenever a
time I was
traitor
playing with some
revives.
people, and they thought that turning on 3 traitors would work. It did not. It was a very, very bad time for the survivors in about 7 minutes every time. Without even like the traitors doing work. It was just either they could do anything they wanted, or they could just literally kill everybody
It's
instantly.
just because that's literally it's 5 when you have the 5v3, and that's the possibility of
And
ID
that's where I
thief.
think
At that
the
point, you only
5v3 is
have half
perfect, is
strength.
because it's that in between, the half survivor where the traitors are that 2.5 strength in a way, and the survivors are handcuffed by that half strength where they can't get the survivor drop if the ID thief's just running around in the bush dicking around.
It's like when you have a 5-player match. No one wants to play 5-player, or unless you're really constrained for players back then. It's 1 traitor, and most of the time they get steamrolled. Having 6 players is even worse because now there's 2 traitors against 4 survivors, and they're going to get steamrolled.
Yeah,
it's too extreme.
So that's where I see like not the need for a new one, but I think a new neutral role would be a good thing for the game if it's properly thought out. Because the traitors are at that kind of imbalance at the 6v2, where the survivors, if they're on their game, are just running you over. And if you want to talk about being new as well, you can't turn up the objective difficulties too much either. You really can't, right?
Yeah,
Well, not
that's
in
why
normal
I
mode, right?
creating the
thought
game
of the
time.
idea of having a difficult, like a hard mode lobby where
I've thought of that
the
too.
objectives
That's
are harder.
Custom lobbies I always make is to make it more difficult.
But
to
it
make
would be interesting
palatable.
to just have that as a mode because because then they
agreed.
could dynamically change. Because let's say dig site, there's 2 groups of parts. What if you on hard mode it was 4 groups of 1 part all over the map? It would make it way harder to take it.
I completely agree. I think like a hard mode rule would be no adjacent parts would be amazing.
Yeah, it'll be the 4 corners of the map.
Or no double parts on the same tile, so they have to be adjacent or space apart, like something like that. I think things like that being in the custom or in a hard mode preset would be great things, but
or you just know the location of the parts, but you don't know what part it is, and you only know the part at the objective of which one you need.
Oh,
that's when you start getting the people taking cell phone pictures again.
Writing everything down, getting the maps out.
Yeah.
You could also just where on the map it doesn't show which objective is where, and you could get almost a deception in it, where you could be like, "Oh, do you remember where a circle was?" And if you're a sheep trader, you'd be like, "Yeah, it was north when it was secretly southeast." And that would actually be really interesting too, where it wouldn't show what part it is; it just show where it was.
I would just like to see if they're gonna change anything like this, like maybe do like event weekends where there's just a whole different game type that you can make more money in, or just to get a whole different set of
cool.
that
would be great.
That'd be phenomenal.
There was custom mode things. There was like a contest for it, and like 2 were first place. One was my game mode called Fools Among Us or something like that, just as a joke. And the thing is, like, no one plays it. It's like a custom mode preset. No one plays custom.
I didn't even know there was
presets
presets on custom until last month.
That's the thing. It's so barely even touched. It's not so much.
Like, no one goes into custom
until the most recent patch. Until the couple most recent patch, customs didn't have enough to even let you do anything other than turn the objective difficulty to 120%, basically.
Or change health
in the time
to
I've played,
5,000.
custom modes evolved a ton. And that's still not nearly enough for the way I would like a custom mode to be.
Yeah. Well, you guys played with Varakti before, right? Because Varakti has his own custom mode that he does presets, which is.
I did once or twice.
Oh, I will. First of all, if you didn't, Chad, I will highly recommend you try it. Because first of all, Varakti is an awesome dude, but his mode that he created, I don't know if he created himself. I'm giving it credit. His mode is also good because he adds more items to be added. Also, makes it harder for everyone, and the exit can only be used by 4 survivors. So you need to call the exit twice. Three, yeah.
It's 3, but they also don't sabotage it either.
I'm not in touch with.
Yeah, house rules no sabotaging radio.
Yeah. But so that's what I mean about a neutral role being important, and more of them would be being good, is that people that play the game consistently make lobbies because the game just doesn't work for them in normal.
I'm waiting to add workshop
Can I pinpoint something?
Can
I say something? You guys were bringing your dog, we're bringing your mouses.
I'm gonna pull my whole thing out like.
Okay, after that, I never want to hear that I'm doing dad jokes after that. Thank you, Khrai. You just saved me there. I actually loved it though. Oh, God damn it.
It was great.
It was great.
I always hold mine because it's where my push-to-talk button is, so I just have it in my hand constantly.
Oh, it is. That's why you have your mouse.
Yeah, you'll see me just holding it every debate.
Okay, last question here, and then we will go into audience questions. So far, what do you guys think about the new time? It allows us to go a bit longer. Do you have still a bit of energy, or are you done? Or
This is
I
great.
like it because it's
I
on
like
a
it.
weekday and I cannot go on at midnight just like debating with some people. While at this time I can actually do it a little bit.
awesome. Okay,
Even late for me in West Coast.
also like the new time
Yeah, I figured.
very much, because it allows me to be, first of all, a bit more awake and keep that going a bit longer. Awesome. I have a very, very serious question here before my list of questions. It's from Olushi, and it says, why do shadows suck at the game so hard?
Oh, why did I know that was coming? The minute you said her name, I'm like, it's good.
That just needs a whole episode.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
we
we should have a
gotta-
week.
that's gotta
Should that
be-
be? Is 2 weeks from now filled already?
Seven versus one. Yeah.
Double length,
Oh,
double
okay,
length
yeah.
panel.
Seven we won. Okay.
You
Good.
can't see my webcam, but I have a theorem right here explaining how bad it is.
Oh, I
Got
love
pie
to see
chart
it.
for ya.
Oh,
Turn your
poor guy.
webcam on.
Okay, one more question here. Okay, this we did. Oh yeah, I was about to say, what about a game with 2 traitors, 2 survivors, and 4 IDs? But you kind of already brought that yourself, and you said it was something that could be fun. Okay, Yeti versus ID Thief. What's the big difference?
Yeti,
The name.
you are never you don't select a role. It's Yeti, you're constantly bouncing between the two. You can be a traitor 1 second, an ID thief, or a survivor the next second. ID thief, once you've selected a role, you are your role.
I could randomly
would
spawn
say-
into a game as a Yeti, and it'd
Yeah.
be like, go cut 2 berries, and I'm fucking free. I'm home free. Like,
Yeah, I was just saying the main difference is like the Yeti has 2 objectives, the ID Thief has 1, and the Yeti's objective is just RNG. Or sorry, the other way around rather.
The ID
Like
Thief is
the other
also
way
in a
around.
good game mode, so.
I would say
Like
it's
the
the
Yeti
same.
just literally has to do its one thing and it's done, and can literally go sit by Druid's Grove with a fire for the rest of the game and not do anything. Once the
Is
ID
it fun?
Thief does its
Boring,
first
though.
mission, it has a second mission that it has to do, or it's still technically losing.
Yeah, ID thief or Yeti or ID thief is better in that scenario. Yeti, I find I have to make it interesting for me.
Yeah,
Like
you have
with
to play
Yeti,
your own
once I
fun as
complete my
Yeti. Like the
objective,
ID Thief
I just
has tension.
Yeah, Yeti. I just decide, okay, I'm just gonna go do whatever. Put a bunch of bear traps in the cabin. Yeah, we got it. Spent the whole game making bear traps once, and then another time we're poisoning all the hatches. So I have to make it interesting for myself, which I will say is a lot of fun. But
Well,
in that, I think ID Thief is better in that sense. 'cause
Isn't
you
it the
have
question
still
to
tension.
same? Isn't the same debate as like what's the neutral? Is the neutral role a third team or it's an actual neutral role? Like the Yeti's literally a third team that can literally do whatever it wants to actually win.
Yeah.
Well, the neutral
Yeah.
role is just like you have to pick a side to actually win.
Despite that, Yeti and ID Thief are both considered neutral, they're very different and considered a third team and actually neutral.
Yeah.
Because ID has to pick a role when Yeti is just itself. It's third team and neutral.
Yeah, like the ID needs to figure out its mission, then finish it essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like, its first part is just
Mhm.
finding what side it's on, then it has to go complete that team's goal afterwards.
And until
If
it
you don't do
actually
both,
picks a
you're not
side,
actually
it is
winning.
neutral.
What
Yeah.
I find interesting about ID Thief, though, is if you say, let's say I kill 3 people as ID Thief, and then I take a traitor role, you actually get those points added to you at the end. So you're
Isn't that
actually-
griefing though? Isn't that griefing? Could you
If
be
you're planning
reported
on
for doing
taking
that?
a traitor role, then
Yeah, I
Mm,
think the
I
whole
will
point
say,
thing
as
is
I
very,
do
very, very weird. I know people have been complaining about it
Killing-
recently.
Killing people, unless you're killing them to take their role. Killing people's ID Thief, I don't really like. Like, if you're
Or
killing them, like, oh,
self-defense.
you can be like, oh, I want to be a traitor, and you start killing people as ID Thief, I don't think that's a good
Yeah.
way to play.
I'm not defending
No,
it.
I would say
don't- I just- I
self-defense
don't
is
like
fully
it, but-
acceptable, though. You can kill someone in self-defense and just be like, I don't want your role. I just
Yeah,
want you
in
to stop."
self-defense, or in if you want their role, I think is okay.
Yeah.
Is there any specific way to play that though? Like that's kind of I think that particular scenario is considered griefing from them, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I
Yeah,
agree
I
with you
wouldn't
guys.
do it
I
if it was
don't
me.
I don't like
I
it.
wouldn't report
hate when it
someone
happens to me.
who did it, but I would look down. I'd be like, hey man, that's kind of not cool, you know.
That's kind of lame.
But I'm okay
that
if you
doesn't-
do it. It is technically a neutral role, but whatever.
Because if you're planning on taking the traitor, like we all kind of load in, like hell yeah, I want to be a traitor. But you're kind of hoping you get that kill, and if you don't,
Yeah,
you just took out your entire
entire survivor team.
Yeah. Quicker game.
Oops.
Well, I've seen scenarios where literally they have the traitor down. There's like 2 survivors nearby, like over the body, like whacking it down, and then all of a sudden,
yeah.
That's
that's
like
okay.
situational. Like,
That,
totally.
I think that's very situational. But like if you were just to say the situation of I killed 3 people, then I took a traitor role later, and they were bad or they were survivors, so it worked out and it's good. That's not really.
Yeah, I like in this scenario with the people over the down trader. I think that's a good one, but not
So PSA for everyone in chat: do not do that. If you're an ID thief, if you kill someone, you take their role. You better goddamn take their role. You kill them.
unless it's in self-defense.
Hey, and if it's in self-defense, like I'm not necessarily.
or like taking
If a
the
traitor
role.
tries to jump me and I kill him because he makes a bad
Nope, you
decision,
have to be
and
traitor.
the game's like the escape's there, I'm not taking that traitor role if there's another body on the other side of the map to go on.
Yeah,
like,
and
no.
not necessarily. I think
Also, if you're doing
killing
it
a
with the
traitor is
crowd as well.
Yeah, killing a
You know,
traitor though,
if it-
and not taking their role, that's a weird one too.
I agree. Well, it's exactly the same thing. It's just griefing from the other end.
Is it though? Like,
No, it's but like I'm saying,
they're
if the
going
escape's
to
called
kill
and the
you.
game's going and the traitor tries to kill you, it's
they're
it's
going to try to
self-defense,
kill
right?
you,
That's the
but-
self-defense action. You killed the guy in
Absolutely,
self-defense,
yeah.
and you're like, I don't want your role, and just walk
Or
away.
90%
Or
of
if
the
the
time,
survivor is
traitor's gonna try to
killing you because like, oh, you're an ID thief. I'm gonna kill you because ID thieves are always bad. I've had survivors do that. I ran off into the woods.
That's
They
allowed,
chased me, and I killed
technically.
them, and came back and didn't take the role. Cause I
Yeah,
was
that's
like, well,
that's
Yeah,
a
no,
different
I wouldn't take
scenario,
that role.
FTL.
I wouldn't
We're
take that
talking
role
about
either.
we're talking about explicitly a 90 thief
Yeah,
that chooses to kill people, choose to do
Yeah.
it because they want to join the traders team.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, that's griefing.
No,
No,
we're
That's griefing,
talking-
we agree.
Yeah, but we're also talking about how that's griefing. I'm just saying the other scenarios were not killing.
That's fair. That's fair.
The self-defense
Self-defense is
killing
good,
someone is fully
but
acceptable.
killing
You
someone
don't need
without
to take
taking
a
their role, no.
Awesome. We will now just move on the debate. We will go into audience question. I think we already started with this wonderful question about Shadow, but we'll go with a little more serious
Real
questions. These questions will be a bit more open-ended, so they do not have to stick with the topic of today. Teal wants to know what you guys think about larger lobbies.
Yes.
I
think
think
it'd
it's
be great.
impossible to implement.
I
I
would
think.
be a
I
fan,
don't
but I
think it
think
would-
it's a restriction of the engine or game.
Yeah.
If I'm
And
not
player base
mistaken
too.
From reading.
Restriction of player base as well.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
No, I think it's
Like,
I think it's actually a technical restriction. If
Yeah.
I didn't
I
He
don't
misread
think
wants
it.
it,
it's at all
but getting
possible.
it done and getting it done correctly, and even having it be possible is it's
Project Winter 2, Electric
Yeah.
Boogaloo.
The issue
There you
is with bigger lobbies is, as someone mentioned, I don't know who it is, sorry. Larger lobbies mean queue times are going to be bigger, and also the amount of lobbies you have are just going to diminish because a lot of people are just filing into those ones. Nobody wants
Yeah.
like a 7 out of 8 lobby. They always wait for that 8. So now you're going to have that problem of we got to have that 10-player lobby. We need it.
If we were talking 10, that'd be not as hard. If we're talking 12, 16, like you're just reaching.
At the same time, though, with 10 people lobbies, wouldn't that be so hard to balance with the traders? Like, you put 3 in there, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's almost too much.
Yeah, I
Not
feel like
just
10
that,
would be a
you
little
got
hard to
restriction from the map.
balance.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
a
Map's too
9
small.
tile map, it's like too small for 10 people,
Mhm.
even.
Like, I think 10 with like 6-2-2 could work or something. Like if there's another neutral role that could be at the same time.
It would
He's like,
still
you know,
be
what I
very
mean? that way
athletic.
that would actually be fairly balanced.
I feel like, though, the chance that there's just a chance that survivors play to kill the traders, and then the neutral role side with them, then you're just fucked. You're screwed. There's nothing you
Yeah.
do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lucen says 3v7 could work. Could it?
3v7, I
3v7
think,
could
would
be.
be. If there was no neutrals and it was a 3v7, I think that would be balanced.
I
But
mean,
then you remove
well,
the neutral.
imagine
Neutral's
it, though.
great.
Imagine, though, 7 people death ball, they all have, like, guns. What do you
But
do?
you have 3
Well, they
people too.
wouldn't
You have,
have all guns because they
Well, if
need
you're
all the
adding
gun
players,
parts.
things would be slightly changed, obviously, if it's going to that
yeah,
much of an
but you also
addition.
have
I'm
a
just
third
saying,
trader,
though.
which is 50% more power for the traders. When
And you
that's it's quite a
remember,
bit.
they have
But also, the maps will have to change. There's not
Yeah.
enough boxes for everyone to get 2 buff. They'll all have to either split it or buff 1, and either way, the survivors got guns. you're done either way.
Look, you can have.
Then you added 1 for 1,
traitors,
and you can go
wolf,
triple wolf open
one
every
cheat.
bunker on the map. They
Well-
can't exile you all.
Yeah, I think
They
you
can't
have
all
to have
get
an
all
even
of us,
number.
boys.
I think you have to have an even number. Of
just
people cheat.
whoever they can't exile, go make a gun. Give them like
you would,
10 gun.
you would need to upgrade the maps from like 9 tiles to like 12.
Which,
They
like
have
was said
all the gun
previously,
parts,
is
the one traitor
impossible.
that's not exiled.
Yeah.
Makes like 4 guns. Here you go. It's a mobile armory.
Okay, that's
done.
pretty. Neutral role. Would more neutral role lead to more griefing, RDM, and free kills?
Player
That's
base.
how it is.
I think it has to be properly defined. And it's
I
even
don't
like
think
the
it will add a
ideas
lot
and
more. I feel like a majority of the current RDMing is just trolls as is and not neutral roles. There are some people who do as neutral, but I think the majority of it is just a troll and someone who's not good for the
I think they
community
more
will
use it as
do
an
it
excuse
regardless
rather
of the
than
role.
genuinely.
Yeah. So I don't think it will increase that.
I think trolls are pretty happy to have neutral roles, so they're actually not trolling when they have the neutral roles. That's my
Yeah.
opinion, though.
They're just living their life at that point. It's not griefing.
Yeah, when they get tracker or something like that, that's where they're starting to release the F words and everything and start griefing and everything because they don't
Yeah,
have the
they're
role
just
they
wishing
want.
for that tracker neutral role.
At the same time, though, I feel like giving the griefers and trolls, giving them a neutral role, just gives them the excuse to do what they want.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
though, it would really increase all that much. Because they would RDM either way.
Okay.
I think the devs
Go ahead,
just
go
need
ahead.
to establish like the do's and don'ts with the role, like just a quick little rundown, like, all right, we don't condone this, this is fair game, etc., because like getting this off my chest as Yeti, I don't do it much anymore, but I liked killing both the survivors and traitors like indiscriminately. It's a ton of fun. It's the own role, like we had that talk about it before. It's its own role because you don't have to side with the traitors, you don't have to side with the survivors. So just killing the traitor, boom, demon kills half the lobby because their main demon dies, and then you just finish off the survivors and you have your own win screen. Yeti last alive.
Yeah, I feel like with the Blackout, the solo neutral works better. It's just the way the balancing and how the traitor works. Having a third team is better and not as harmful to the game. But like neutral.
Guys, in the chat, we have a survey going on, a poll going on right now. If you want to vote for which team did better, if you want to vote for the yes team with Khrai, Preston, Shadow, and Zeke, or for the no team with FTL, Peezer, and FTL. I think I said Peezer instead of Preston. I'm sorry about that, Preston. We also had Alicia on the second team, but sadly we lost connection. So guys, you have 10 minutes to put your votes. We want to know which team did better. By the way, we had a little prediction going on earlier, asking people which was better, ID Thief or Yeti. And we had 80% going for the Yeti, by the way.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
IDT.
it's very popular. That's the reason I asked the question, not particularly because I would want it in like not normal, but because I know lots of people love their Yeti. So
I do really enjoy playing Yeti because sometimes like I'll be really tired and I'll be like, one game, whatever, we'll see. And I'll get Yeti and Blackout and I'll be like, yes, last game of the day, I'm a Yeti. This is gonna be a great round. And as long as they don't kill me early on, I always enjoy my Yeti rounds. It's just either I just sit back and relax, or I put do some little bit of fun.
At FTL, I think the bigger issue is why are you playing Blackout? I'm gonna keep establishing this, despite I will
don't say,
as your last game of all things.
Normal is better.
Really?
Normal is better, but when I get tired, I find I get more chaotic and I get less focused, and I feel like that's great for Blackout. So oftentimes when I'm like in my prime and I'm like really focused, I'll play normal. And when I'm more tired, I'll play Blackout because I don't feel like I need to focus as much. I can more relax and just, do whatever. And Blackout, that works. Because
Blackout's more like everyone gets converted and you don't have to do anything.
I feel like there's less expectation on being,
yeah, you're gonna die either way because everyone gets converted.
You're gonna either die or the traitor's gonna die instantly. So
Well,
I
we
just wanted
already
to-
already had this debate, Shadow, and I think it was overwhelmingly agreed that Blackout was not the favorite mode of everyone involved.
Yeah,
I think
normal
even
for me is
even
much
or
better.
Steve or Steve
Although,
got
I do
called out
enjoy
on this
both
one for never playing it, even if he was defending it. That was a good one.
do
That was a good one.
He won his
personally enjoy
argument.
both game modes. They both have their ups and downs, although normal is better.
I dislike.
I would say
alright.
normal is definitely more like, not that any of the Project Winter games are balanced to be serious, but it's definitely more of the mode you can actually play for the sake
Yeah.
of trying to play
Normal-
and do good in.
Normal has more longevity in form of like play. Like I feel like there's way more plays you can do in normal. While Blackout, there's more limit to what games always tend to have a similar outcome, which compared to normal, where I feel like there's a larger variety in which way the game goes, which
I'll
definitely
stand
makes
my-
it so easier.
I'll
to play
stand my
more.
point from episode 2 and say the essence of Blackout could actually be just in the random map rotation of the normal game.
Yeah, you could put normal Blackout into a normal.
Not
map.
all of it, but some of it you can actually add it to make like the same feeling, but like in the randomness of the.
Oh,
of the map.
I really wish Blackout and normal customs weren't segregated. I think that's a weird
Yeah.
choice. That like I wish you could put the normal stuff into it and whatever else, vice versa.
I think that's or I wish you could put normal maps into Blackout, but I think the reason why the
Yeah,
two
like
modes
both
are
ways. Like,
segregated is because of people owning the DLC, the actual
Yeah.
custom modes.
yeah, it's just still. I do wish that you could cross everything fully though.
I dislike Blackout, but the one thing that's good about it is you just have more gold players there. That's just it. So you just have way less
there's less
Xbox, way
trolls.
less people in general. You're just like, oh, all the gold people I know are here. All right, cool. Can we go
The one
to
who makes
normal?
his
No?
argument.
Okay.
The one who makes his argument about confusion and being noob friendly just wants to play with all the golds.
I mean,
I've played with so much bronzes for ages. I just want to play in some hardcore lobby.
I'll go and
Yeah.
jump in with I think it's probably going to be one last question here for everyone. By the way, guys, if you're in the chat, feel free to stay once the debate is over. I will be hosting a post-debate Project Winter game, and I will hope all and every one of these fine gentlemen decide to join us, and I will be streaming it. We'll do at least 1 or 2 rounds. So everyone debate, you will be more than welcome to join us for a few fun rounds of Project Winter. This question is from everyone. It's from Levi. Levi asks, do you think Traitors crafting event and sabotage that come in as make the game too difficult for the average survivor? Are they priced in Traitor credit fairly?
No, I think
I don't-
it was already
Oh.
survivor sided beforehand. I think this just improves it. More chaos. It gives them a little more control, a little more planning, more strategy. I think it's great. Maybe the price is
It
more
was-
expensive, but
They need
Other
to
than
up the
that.
price. They need to up the price of the
Yeah.
not by a lot on the remote
Sabo.
sabotage, but I think it's
Yeah,
12
I agree.
right now.
but the thing
Which-
is that you can only craft them once, can't you not?
Isn't the Exile 12?
Each
once per trader.
you can craft them once, but you can also find them in the trader drop. So let's say you craft
Yeah.
1 solar pulse, then you go in the trader drop, you get another one, and then you get a natural run from the game. You can have 3 solar pulse in a row,
well,
which
right
is
now,
a
you
pain
know,
in the
all of
ass.
Solar pulses.
Well,
Because
Asparagus,
get
you can
2
also
from each
open the second.
airdrop.
I've opened the second airdrop before. I found an objective locator and 2 jam radios. So I literally got nothing. So the
Well,
drops can
yeah.
go both ways on that.
I'm pretty sure.
But you
can
get a
2 of the same
natural, you
remote.
get a natural solar pulse, the one that comes with the game, the real one. Then you have the one you crafted, and then you have one you can find in the
Yeah.
box, and you have
Yeah,
2
there's
boxes.
They've
It's-
essentially doubled them per game, basically, because there used to be like 1 to 2 per game on average.
No, there can only
like
be 1.
half-ish or
There was
something.
max 1.
Was there only 1 before? I swear there was
Max
more
1.
than 1.
The only event there could be 2 of was Blizzard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've
Other
gotten
than Blackout
2
mode,
blizzards
but
often.
Blackout.
It's
Where
a
there
good
could be-
idea. Just need balance.
Okay, that's what do we say here? Sometimes the natural solar pulse is not helpful for traders depending on its timings. True, Gimp, true.
Yeah, I've had natural solar pulse screw me over as trader before.
Me too.
Yeah, it screws everybody over at some point.
I had so many chases recently when I'm getting, as a trader, I'm getting chased by like 4 survivors that really wants my blood on the snow, and then I just use my ideas. I ask my partner, Chet, solar pulse right now, please, solar pulse right now, and then I'm safe.
Yeah, that is nice. Technically, you can actually have more than 3 because I'm pretty sure you can get multiple of the same remote from each airdrop. So if you got really lucky, you could get 2 solar pulses in a single airdrop.
Plus when you
Yeah,
craft,
you can
plus the
have
natural.
5
Yeah.
total, no?
That'd be
So then
4
you waste
from
like 10
airdrops.
minutes of the entire game, and there's nothing they
Your
can do.
partner can craft one, you can craft one, and then a natural one. That would be 7 solar pulses.
Or you can get like 2 locate second objectives, and
Or you could get 4 locate second objectives, which has
Yeah.
happened to me
Yeah.
actually.
Oh yeah.
I got 4 of them.
Now you're really gonna know where it
Each
is.
from each airdrop, and I was like, yay!
Oh, the
And
best
I
one
had
for me is
already
the radio
crafted
though.
one,
When
too,
when
at
you
that
jam
point.
it and you just hear everyone talking still, and you're like, "Okay, thanks." I jammed myself.
Okay, well, on this topic, Meep asks, what do you guys think about crafting blizzards?
Yeah, I feel like blizzards are, even
I
as a
think blizzards
trader,
are
they're
too
like,
much.
We're not.
I don't like blizzards.
Even
as a
lore-wise
trader
doesn't
even.
make sense. Like,
Yeah, I was
you're
gonna say like
transform
everything
to
else
what?
could be something. Blizzard. How do you make
You're
a
just an
blizzard?
X-Man suddenly.
Exactly.
We'd be
Yeah,
like
and
X-Men
even
from
the
then,
X-Men
I
and
don't
just-
think it'd be
Yeah.
that helpful because often as a trader, I don't like blizzards as they are. I'm like, oh, I have to go find a campfire now, or get back to cabin, or else I'm going to be weak when I try to fight survivors.
Or you could just be sitting at like 3 campfires, you know, they're
Yeah.
doing second objective, and
But-
then you just kill their stats. But at the same time, I
Yeah.
don't think it's a good idea.
Someone
Lore-wise,
said-
it makes
I
so
don't think a
much-
blizzard
so
would
much
be a
more
good one.
Well, the thing about lore-wise is we literally have magic bears in alternate dimension and ghosts that can freeze people in a whim. I don't think us calling a blizzard is going to make people like jump out a window.
Yeah, but technically, are you the one who makes the magic bears, or it's the game that's already there that has it magically? That's the thing. Like, it's not the player that actually make those bears and stuff like that being magic. It's the actual game
Like-
that's like this.
Like, we don't know that much about the lore of the game because it's very secretive and a lot of it is up to interpretation. Like other games, they handle lore with giving you a ton of hints or a bunch of dialogue so that you can piece things together. But here we need to make up the narrative unless we just missed some things or we're just, looking at it the wrong way. So, meteor fell down, made the land magical or whatever. People researching it, developed truth serum,
blizzard.
energy drinks, and the current technology we have. So, like, a blizzard shouldn't be out of it because ghosts can freeze people.
So, gentlemen, thank you very much for your input tonight. We will be approaching the end of the debate. 2 things I want to say now. First of all, Silver Horsey it says calling a blizzard is weird, but controlling a solar pulse isn't. Food for thought here.
Hey, they're doing
That's
a lot
right,
of
that's
science
right.
there. They're cloning people, truth serums. Who knows what kind of machines are buried there that the traders got access to?
Having a
Apparently
bear as air
also-
conditioner is magic.
Pizza knows the lore, she says in chat. So if you guys want to know the lore, you know who asked
Anyway,
to.
Asparagus, you should know by living in Canada, like with so many snow in a bright day, you know how reflective the snow is. So it's not.
It is.
Yeah, but I never just
True.
ended up in a different part of the
Snow
city.
is very
like,
reflective.
Pizza, you didn't? That's weird. I thought it was
Well,
like
again.
common Canadian experience, everyday occurrence.
Out in Edmonton.
Wait, so how many of us are Canadian and how many of us are like?
I'm real
American?
Canadian.
Okay, Canadian, raise your hand.
Damn.
Oh, and we don't know if
Feel
Rustery is
singled out.
raising his hand, but
Preston was Preston raising his hand too or not?
Preston was not.
No. So Preston was not. So me and
Oh, we're gonna have to balance these
Rustery,
better
you'll
next
You'll
time.
never know what I did. You'll never know.
we'll
There's
never
nothing to
know.
prove it.
Real
Well, you
deal
did
Teal
say that
says
skill
she solar
go
flares
out,
daily.
so-
Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for your input. We're gonna do one last round right there. I will give you each of you 1 or 2 minute interrupted. You can give us your thought about the debate. You can explain to us if you change your mind. You can just give us a quick notes of what you think about the debate tonight, if your position has changed in any way, and also if you're a content creator or you have anything you want to plug, this is the perfect time for that. Please feel free to do it. After that, we will go with the result of the polls we took tonight, and we will reveal which team won according to the chat. So, Khrai, I'll give you the floor for 1 or 2 minutes uninterrupted. Please tell us what you thought of the debate. What was your idea at the beginning, if your idea changed, and where people can find you if they want to see more of that magnificent beard.
I'd like to thank everyone for being here and debating on this subject. It was really entertaining. I'll say that my point was that it is okay to have a variety of role or add more of the neutral role, and my point still stand. Like I think I'm more sensible towards the no factor now from the debate, and I really appreciate it. I actually suggested some roles. I don't know if people want me to actually put it on writing and actually where to find it. If you guys have suggestions, just tell me. I could type them down and having everyone to read. So yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for being there in this debate.
Thank you so much for being there, Khrai. That's super appreciated. Veteran debater Khrai. We now have veteran debater Prestonman. It's the final word of the night.
I
Or
apologize
first.
for not really talking a lot during this debate. Most of what I wanted to say ended up getting said already by Khrai, Shadow, and Zeke. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I didn't have much to say for that. So I apologize that I didn't really talk much. But yeah, thank you for having me.
Guys, make sure you go on YouTube. You can find Prestonman on YouTube. He has a nice channel with very funny videos, and I highly recommend him. Mr. Shadow.
He nods
Hi.
no.
I just wanted to announce first of all how I'm confused why Khrai let me raise my hand when he knows I'm not a Canadian.
I know, but it's a social deception.
Sure, I'm an honorary Canadian. Anyways, I'm Chaotic Shadow 6. Name will change eventually. I go on Twitch, do all that fun stuff. I think Team A clearly won this. I think that's pretty obvious. But yeah, I mean, everything, all my opinions have kind of been said by the people prior to me. More roles, more variety, more chaos is what I want. Yeah, as long as you do it good, that's all I have. That's all I want. Just do it good, and I'm happy.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Zeke, your turn to have the floor, uninterrupted.
So, more or less, I'm just going to be echoing what the rest of the people on my team here said. More roles are good, more varieties good, more chaos is good. And I genuinely don't feel that 6v2 is a super balanced experience, and that the neutral injects a lot of chaos in there and makes the games play longer and more balanced and fun for everybody. I'm Zeke. I play a lot of Project Winter, and you can find me on Twitch at Zeke0313.
Thank you so much. FTL.
I don't have much of a closing, but I do definitely. My opinions really haven't changed much. I do think that where we stand now with the current neutral role is I like it, and I don't think we should add more neutral roles. I disagree with Shadow on the fact that their team won. Just because Shadow's on the team, that's why they lost.
Fair.
Oh, sorry, we didn't have dogs.
Yeah, and you guys didn't
Should've
have
thought
dogs.
that before
We
you
had
came.
two. Okay. I don't stream much. I've streamed like 4 or 5 times, but maybe I'll stream a little tonight. PW_FTL, I guess. And I probably will not have my face cam on. So, say goodbye.
What a shame. By the way, FTL, thank you so much. That was your first appearance tonight, and I think everyone in the chat agrees that you did super good, and we'd love to have you in. And if you liked it, we'd love to have you on again. Mr. Peezer.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll chalk it up as 3 straight W's on this now. That was pretty easy. I'm kidding. But yeah, no, I'm not changing. I'm not changing. That's the way I feel about it. I don't think there needs to be any more, even though I'm one of the people that's really for multiple roles and adding into that. I don't think that's the place it needs to go. But anyways, yeah, you can find me on Twitch, Peezerplays. I am giving away a copy of the game on Saturday. If you know anybody that doesn't have it or wants to get it, feel free to come by. Saturday evening, about the same time as right now.
Saturday evening, you're going to be streaming. Awesome. And another newcomer here, Rustery. Everything I said to FTL, I so applies to you. I'm very happy you joined us tonight, and I hope you enjoy your experience. So I'm leaving you the mic from for the last word.
Oh, thank you. I want to say all the teams did excellent, but our teams did better. I'm sorry, but it's fact. The polls even show, probably. But the thing is, I believe having more variety is good. Everyone loves variety. Having more options is good, except when apparently pineapple on pizza. But the issue is that it could go wrong. It could go wrong. And that's something that we don't want. We want the new player experience to be good. We've seen the Steam reviews for the game. Simplicity is best at times. I would love to have new roles. I would love for someone to just stab me with a knife and say, don't worry, I'm not working with either side. I just want to do this. So it's important to stay neutral, as this debate shows, and just not take chances sometimes.
Thank you very much. I will do my own. My name is Asparagus Daiquiri, guys. You can find me on this channel that you're watching right now. So thank you to each and every one of you that came tonight. That debate has been amazing. We've been going on a lot longer than usual. 2 hours debate tonight, 2 hours, and it flew like that. It doesn't feel like we started 2 hours ago. What do you guys feel? This
that was very fast.
It's been 2 hours, really?
It's been 2 hours. Yeah, it's been
Like
2
an
hours.
hour.
This new time slot is a very, very good addition to the show. I want also to personally use this moment to thank Tentacle PS and Pizza Pie. Both these amazing persons have been wonders to help the debate. Tentacle with all the behind-the-scene organization, and Pizza helping me with all the overlays and the look of the show. You have been very, very helpful, and I appreciate all the help I've gotten for you. I will be streaming tomorrow evening. It's Friday, so usually I stream some Among Us with FUD and Decepticons. So if you like some Among Us, please feel free to join me tomorrow. And for the weekend, usually on Saturday and Sundays, it's a Project Winter Day. So 2 days of Project Winter. So guys, the big moment now, the big reveal. We're going to see who chat decide win this debate. So let's see this poll here. Who did better? Let's see this poll. Oh, wow. Okay. 44% of you said the winning team was FTL, Rustery, and Peezer. 33% said the 44.
Guys.
44%. We had 33% saying it was the yes team, and I had it just for fun, a neutral role in there. So 22% said the neutral role won. So just to add some neutral chaos into it, because apparently chaos is fun. So congrats, everyone. Congrats to the no team for your apparent victory tonight, according to the chat.
Dogs did a lot.
Only 8 people
The
voted,
dogs.
so I would not count that very much.
And then one member of the no team said we won.
Ooh.
FDL.
So we will be taking a little pause here, guys. We have a magnificent collection of clips that were created, compiled for us by Aloshi. So Aloshi, thank you so much for the clips we're going to watch. We have 5 to 10 minutes of nice clips to watch. During this time, we'll be setting up a Project Winter game with all these wonderful people. Well, all of them that want to join us. If some of you are available, I will give you the code for the lobby in the Discord. Everyone, thank you so much. Do not leave. We'll be doing some more. And here are the clips.